My daughter perched gracefully at the edge of the couch, her legs gently swinging, her eyes shimmering with hope. Surrounded by her cousins, the air was filled with the delightful sound of tearing wrapping paper, joyous shouts, and laughter as they proudly unveiled their treasures. One gracefully showcased a shimmering pink tablet, while another danced with delight, guiding a remote-controlled drone through the air. The room was alive with a vibrant energy, and Alara observed with anticipation, patiently awaiting her moment to shine. Her smile was gentle, radiating patience and trust. In her enchanting realm, grandmothers cherish their grandchildren, and gifts arrive adorned with delicate bows, each bearing a name of affection. I searched for her name on a tag, nestled within a bag, beneath the graceful branches of the tree. It was destined to be there. As the final gift was bestowed, and she remained seated, devoid of any offering, she lifted her gaze to me, her voice a soft murmur. "Has Grandma perhaps overlooked my presence?" I turned to Evelyn and inquired softly, "Was there another one? Perhaps it was overlooked?" She moved forward without a moment's pause. She remarked that she isn't truly family. In an instant, as if by magic. Neither an apology nor a hint of shame. Her voice resonated with a clarity that cut through the air, reminiscent of a gentle announcement of the day's weather. She is adopted, it carries a different essence. Alara absorbed every word with grace. She held back her tears. Not at this moment. She merely nodded, as though that gesture unraveled the entirety of the matter. Then she cast her gaze upon her hands, delicately folding them in her lap, as if seeking to occupy a more modest presence. It was as if a gentle breeze had been stolen away, leaving me breathless. My lips parted, yet no words escaped. I longed to shield her, to utter a word, any word, yet I found myself paralyzed. And what could possibly be more disheartening? No one else uttered a word either. The cousins exchanged fleeting glances, their eyes dancing with unspoken words. My sister-in-law averted her gaze. Marcus sat beside me, his jaw set with determination, his gaze unwavering as it rested upon his mother. Yet, even he remained silent. We lingered for dinner. We danced through the moments. Alara chose to let it linger in silence, never to speak of it again. That evening, as the moonlight danced through the window of the guest room, Marcus gracefully opened the drawer of his suitcase and retrieved a manila folder with a sense of purpose. He gazed at me and remarked, "I brought it, just in case she chose to act in such a manner." I had wished that it would remain unnecessary. He departed from the house, solitary and contemplative, just after the clock struck midnight, a folder clasped delicately in his hand. I refrained from inquiring about its contents. I found it unnecessary. Whatever words he whispered to her, whatever secrets lay within that envelope, she did not find joy in them the following morning. And she never reached out to Alara, not even as family, again. Last Christmas, this enchanting moment unfolded. It was meant to be one of those grand family gatherings where every detail appears enchanting and flawless. The fireplace crackles softly, adorned in matching pajamas, with cider simmering gently on the stove, while the children frolic about the house, transforming it into their own enchanting playground. Evelyn, my mother-in-law, truly spares no effort. Her holiday style is reminiscent of a beautifully curated Pinterest board. She is the kind of person who arranges cloth napkins into delicate trees and thoughtfully labels each cheese on the platter with charming little chalkboard sticks. She embodies the essence of a woman who holds steadfast to her vision of how life ought to unfold. For a decade, I have been united in marriage with her son, Marcus. Our paths crossed in college, and from the very first moment, he exuded a serene, contemplative presence, a quietly intense charm that captivated me. Though he may not be the most boisterous presence, he possesses an extraordinary gift for attentive listening. He is the one who understands your desires even before they escape your lips. In falling for him, I discovered a profound yearning to create a family with someone who truly grasped the essence of love's beauty. Our journey was not without its challenges. For years, we faced the heartache of longing for children, enduring 4 miscarriages and 2 unsuccessful IVF attempts. Countless late nights were spent in silence, simply holding one another in the dark, where words felt inadequate against the weight of our shared sorrow. In due course, our conversation turned to the topic of adoption. It was never our second choice. It turned out to be our most exquisite choice. We discovered Alara through a charming local agency. It was at the tender age of 5 that our paths first intertwined. The memory of the first time she took my hand lingers sweetly in my heart. Not a single word escaped her lips. As she gently intertwined her delicate fingers with mine during our stroll through the park, a profound realization washed over me. This was the moment I had been waiting for. This was my beloved daughter. Alara brings a radiant glow to every room she enters. Her heart dances with joy as she paints, particularly when capturing the essence of animals. She bestows names upon the charming squirrels that grace our backyard. She chuckles at her own wit, even when it eludes the understanding of others. She possesses a gentle spirit, a kindness that radiates warmth, and a depth of thoughtfulness that can be profoundly moving at times. From the moment she arrived home, Marcus was simply Dad, neither stepdad nor foster dad, but unequivocally Dad. One enchanting evening, as I gently brushed her hair, she began to call me Mom all on her own. I chose not to correct her. Tears have graced my cheeks. We always embraced her as our own, yet it seems not everyone shared in that sentiment. Evelyn exhibited a graceful politeness upon our introduction of Alara. Chilly, yet courteous. At first, her words were not laced with cruelty, yet there lingered a profound absence of true recognition in her gaze. She never discovered her favorite hues. She refrained from voicing her inquiries. She did not extend the same level of effort as she did with our beloved nieces and nephews. Yet, I reassured myself that she would eventually see the light. I longed to believe that she merely required a little more time. Marcus approached with a touch of carefulness. He understood his mother more deeply than I ever could, and though his expectations were modest, he chose to extend her the grace of doubt for the sake of Alara. When Evelyn extended her warm invitation to gather the entire family at her home for Christmas that year, we graciously accepted. We filled the car with gifts and delightful treats, embarking on a 6-hour journey to the enchanting landscapes of North Carolina. Alara was enveloped in a delightful thrill. She crafted exquisite cards for each of her beloved cousins. She eagerly anticipated the sight of the grand tree that Evelyn always adorned in the foyer. She even brought along her cherished dress, yearning to embody a more sophisticated allure. I recall gazing at her in the back seat, her voice harmonizing with the Christmas melodies, cradling her teddy bear, and a thought crossed my mind: this year shall unfold in a new light. This year, she shall truly sense it. She will sense a deep connection, as if she has found her rightful place. The house embraced us with a symphony of laughter and a gentle warmth upon our arrival. Brothers and sisters, relatives, beloved companions. Alara plunged into the tumult as if it were her very sanctuary. I beheld her embrace Evelyn. I observed Evelyn gently patting her on the head, much like one would affectionately acknowledge a neighbor's child. Not unkind, yet somewhat aloof. Yet, a smile graced my lips. I clung to the delicate thread of hope. Perhaps it was merely a touch of awkwardness. Perhaps love does not flow effortlessly for all, yet that does not imply it will not grace us in due time. I assisted in preparing the dinner. Marcus engaged in delightful play with the children. Alara graciously distributed cookies crafted in the delightful form of reindeer. All seemed perfectly in place. Everything felt nearly ordinary. Until the dawn of the next day. Until the offerings of affection. As my daughter sat amidst a circle of children, their laughter filling the air while they unwrapped their gifts, I couldn't help but notice the contrast as her own hands remained untouched by the joy surrounding her. And all that I had longed for crumbled before my very eyes. Having completed our breakfast, the children were all aflutter with excitement, for the moment of gift-giving had arrived. At Evelyn's house, it was more than just an occurrence. It was the very essence of it all. She transformed it into a grand affair. With grace, she arranged the presents beneath the towering 12-foot tree, each gift adorned in carefully chosen wrapping paper. The children gathered in a circle, their eyes sparkling with anticipation as she distributed the gifts one by one, the atmosphere filled with warmth and joy. Alara was almost dancing with delight. She gazed toward the tree, then turned her eyes back to me, softly murmuring, "I believe mine is the purple one adorned with the snowman." I offered a gentle smile and a nod, despite not having glimpsed her name among the tags. I endeavored to dismiss the persistent ache that lingered in my heart. Perhaps hers lay concealed behind the tree. Perhaps it lingered in the closet of the guest room. Perhaps Evelyn was reserving it for the grand finale. The gifts began to unveil themselves with a graceful flourish. Delightful squeals and soft giggles fill the air as everyone proudly showcases their new toys, enchanting gadgets, and shimmering jackets. Alara applauded for each cousin as if celebrating their special day. As the moments passed, the mound beneath the tree began to diminish gracefully. Swift. 5 children, 10 presents. 3 children, 2 presents, 1 moment. None bearing the name of Alara. And she took note. She gazed at me, her voice a gentle whisper. "Has Grandma perhaps overlooked mine?" I cast my gaze about, feigning a search. "Perhaps it lingers beneath the surface," I remarked. In that moment, I rose and turned to Evelyn, gently inquiring, "Is there one for Alara that didn't find its way here?" Evelyn appeared unfazed. Her expression was one of irritation, as if I had unwittingly created a spectacle, transgressing some silent boundary by daring to inquire. She gazed directly at Alara and softly remarked, "She's not truly family." I found it to be rather unsuitable. Stillness. A silence that speaks volumes, devoid of shock. Silent complicity. One of the cousins began to delicately play with their ribbon. My sister-in-law elegantly cleared her throat, gracefully preoccupied with the trash bag filled with wrapping paper. No eyes were cast in my direction. No gaze fell upon Alara. I gazed tenderly at my daughter. Her visage remained unbroken. She held back her tears. She blinked slowly, as if pondering the misstep that had transpired. And then, oh, how divine it was, the way she inclined her head. Merely a soft, nearly undetectable nod. As if she grasped a truth meant to remain unspoken. I gracefully knelt beside her. My hands trembled ever so slightly, yet I endeavored to maintain a calm and composed voice. "You did nothing wrong," I murmured softly. She nodded once more, her smile a delicate facade. "It's perfectly all right, dear Mommy. Perhaps in the coming year." I find it remarkable that I managed to hold myself together in that moment. Marcus remained perfectly still, his jaw set tight, gazing ahead as if any movement might unleash a tempest within him. I found myself in a lingering silence, yearning for someone, anyone, to break the stillness with their voice. "Oh, Evelyn, how unkind that is. Or Alara is a cherished part of our family. Or perhaps, that simply will not do." Yet, they chose not to. And I found myself enveloped in a tempest of anger. Not merely at Evelyn, but at every single adult present in that room who opted for comfort instead of embracing courage. A cry of anguish stirred within me. I longed to take Alara by the hand and whisk her away. Yet, I did not. I remained in my seat, entranced by the moment, striving to balance the delicate art of damage control with an air of grace. What effect would it have on Alara to witness me unraveling? What impact might it have on Marcus if I were to confront his mother in front of the entire family? Thus, I chose to remain silent. In that moment, a profound sense of betrayal washed over me, as if I had turned my back on my own beloved daughter. As the room began to sway gently, the children once more lost in their play, and the adults resumed their leisurely coffee sips and phone scrolling, I observed Alara slip away into a quiet corner. She nestled with her teddy bear, her shoulders drawn tight, her gaze fixed upon the floor. She remained silent for the remainder of the morning. She made no request for a present. She chose not to inquire as to the reason. She maintained a delicate smile, a facade of charm, and whenever someone cast their gaze upon her, she ensured she appeared utterly enchanting. Yet, I found myself not in that place. That moment etched itself into my very being. An icy, profound anger that clung to me relentlessly. Unbeknownst to me, Marcus had already made up his mind about his course of action. He had witnessed more than enough. He would not allow that silence to linger for even a moment longer. On that serene night, the house embraced a gentle stillness. It feels rather hushed. Once the final dish was washed, the wine poured, and the courteous goodnights exchanged with a hint of awkward embraces, we retreated to the guest room, gently closing the door behind us. Alara had already slipped into her soft pajamas, nestled comfortably in bed with her beloved stuffed fox, the cherished companion she took with her wherever she went. She made no request for a bedtime tale. She refrained from requesting a call to Santa. She lay there, her gaze softly tracing the contours of the ceiling above. I settled beside her, gently caressing her back until her breaths became soft and steady. "Mother?" she murmured softly. "Indeed, my dear. Do you suppose she might have been unaware of my arrival?" I took a deep breath. "Oh, my dear, she was well aware." "Ah." A moment of stillness. "Perhaps she simply has yet to discover the depths of my being." I pressed my lips together with such fervor that the taste of blood lingered on my tongue. "Perhaps that is indeed the case," I remarked. "Yet, none of this lies upon your shoulders. Can you hear my voice?" She nodded softly, burying her face into the pillow. As I rose to my feet, I found Marcus poised in the doorway, a mysterious object delicately cradled in his hand. At first, he remained silent. She gazed at our daughter, then turned her eyes to me, before finally resting her gaze upon the envelope. "I am finished," he murmured softly. "Over the years, I have allowed my mother to express a multitude of thoughts. I allowed it to pass, for it seemed the simpler path to take. Yet, this is not the case. Not with Alara, my dear." I remained motionless. Never had I encountered him in such a manner before. He was not raising his voice. He remained composed. He possessed a calm and unwavering presence. Concluding. "What is that?" I inquired. He graciously placed it in my hands. A delicate manila folder. Within lay a notarized legal document, an updated will, a trust designation, and the formal record of Alara's adoption. "She is not merely our daughter in spirit," he expressed. "She is our beloved daughter, as reflected in every legal document." I included her in all aspects. The home, the savings, the insurance, the family trust, all of it. "She is my daughter in every sense that the law acknowledges." My gaze lingered upon him. "Did you truly accomplish all of this?" "Months ago, I embarked on the journey of completing the paperwork. I longed to formalize our bond in every conceivable manner. I chose to keep it to myself. I thought that should my mother ever overstep, I would possess the means to address it." A delightful weakness swept through my knees. "What shall you do with it, then?" He cast a glance at the clock. "As the clock strikes midnight." He gently took hold of his coat. "I shall reveal to her the true essence of Alara." I chose not to intervene in his course of action. I refrained from asking him to calm down. I merely nodded and settled onto the bed, attuned to the gentle creak of the front door as it opened, then softly closed behind him. Her thoughts must have danced in a whirlwind when he appeared unexpectedly at her door. It remains a mystery whether she anticipated a lecture or a spirited debate, yet one thing is certain, the folder took her by surprise. He entered her abode, a place steeped in memories of his youth, and took a seat at the kitchen table, facing her with a gentle gaze. "I'm not here to raise my voice," he gently expressed to her. "I find myself here not to seek an apology. I present to you a delightful choice." He gracefully slid the folder across the table. She gently unveiled it. He gazed upon her visage as she immersed herself in the words. He gently informed her that this is Alara's name, recognized in every significant legal context. "If you wish to continue believing she isn't part of the family, that is entirely your decision. Yet, if that is the path you have chosen, then I shall no longer be your son. Because I shall not nurture my daughter in an environment that regards her as merely a visitor." She attempted to interject. He refrained from allowing her. He shared with her the enchanting way Alara applauded for her cousins, the tender embrace she offered while calling her grandma, and the gentle thoughts that lingered in her mind as she drifted into slumber, pondering what misstep she might have taken. Then he softly declared, "You have but one chance to mend this. One. For the upcoming Christmas, we shall find ourselves in a different place." And then he rose gracefully and departed. Upon returning to our room, he remained rather quiet. He gently reclined beside me, intertwining his fingers with mine. I found myself unable to embrace the gentle embrace of slumber. I gazed at the ceiling, much like Alara had, reflecting on the countless moments I had preserved harmony, often at the cost of my child's well-being. Yet, a transformation unfolded that evening. A subtle transformation unfolded within us both. We shall no longer allow silence to shield the heartless from their deeds. For the first time in what feels like an eternity, I sensed a beautiful harmony between us, not merely as husband and wife, but as devoted parents united in purpose. The ones who arrive when it truly counts. As dawn broke, an unmistakable shift lingered in the air. The house was silent, yet not in the serene, blissful manner of a holiday morning. It was rigid, fraught with an unspoken tension, as if everyone moved about in a delicate dance, feigning normalcy while acutely aware that something profound lingered in the air. Alara lingered at the kitchen table, cradling a cup of rich hot chocolate that Marcus had lovingly prepared for her. She stirred it gently, a soft melody escaping her lips. Her eyes sparkled with a brilliance that outshone the previous night, yet a hint of weariness lingered within them. Just as I was about to invite her for a stroll, a gentle knock echoed from the guest room door. It was Evelyn, the very essence of grace. She appeared to be a shadow of her former self. The familiar grace, the subtle smile, the exquisite refinement. It had vanished. She appeared more delicate, a whisper of her former self. "May I enter your presence?" she inquired. Marcus remained silent. I inclined my head in agreement. She entered, cradling a medium-sized box adorned in shimmering silver paper, devoid of any ribbon. She glided over to Alara, gracefully bent down beside her chair, and positioned it tenderly in front of her. "I completely overlooked this yesterday," she remarked softly. Alara cast a glance at her, then shifted her gaze to the box. Her hands remained still, untouched by the allure before her. Evelyn gently cleared her throat. "I have erred." Her voice was soft, weary, and filled with regret. "I acknowledge my mistake." She chose not to share those words with me. She kept her thoughts unspoken to Marcus. She whispered it to Alara. I allowed a notion to take root in my mind, one that suggested family is merely defined by blood ties. Yet, I have come to realize that family is truly about love, and you have cherished me from the very beginning, far beyond what I could ever deserve. Alara cast a fleeting glance my way, her uncertainty palpable. I offered her a gentle nod. With delicate grace, she unveiled the gift, revealing its hidden treasures. Within the box lay a collection of exquisite watercolor paints, of the finest quality, far removed from those meant for children, accompanied by a pristine sketchbook, and resting gracefully atop it all, a delicate card. She gently opened it and read with a soft, contemplative grace. Her lips danced gracefully, yet the words remained a tantalizing mystery to my ears. Then she cast her gaze upon Evelyn. "Would you like me to create a drawing for you?" Evelyn's eyes brimmed with tears, glistening like dew-kissed petals in the soft morning light. "I would be delighted by that." Alara inclined her head gracefully. "Very well." Without a smile. There was no grand reunion. Simply put, that is quite all right. Yet, that simple gesture held profound significance. Once Evelyn had gracefully departed the room, I turned my gaze towards Marcus. He appeared quite humble. He refrained from uttering, "I told you so." He exhaled deeply and gracefully settled beside me. "Do you believe it will endure?" I inquired. He offered a delicate shrug. "I find myself at a loss. Yet, it is but a beginning." That enchanting night, just before surrendering to slumber, Alara delicately sketched a vision in her new sketchbook. A young girl, her small hand nestled within the grasp of two taller figures, a gentleman and a lady, walks gracefully together. Behind them stood a charming house, graced by the presence of a majestic tree. And in the sky, she had painted a sun adorned with a gentle, smiling visage. She named it, Home. She revealed it to Marcus, who tenderly pressed his lips to her forehead. Indeed, that is precisely who we are. Just a few days later, after our journey back home and the gentle unpacking of our bags, a delicate envelope graced our mailbox. Only Evelyn's meticulous handwriting graces the envelope, devoid of a return address. Within lay a photograph. A cherished relic of the past. Marcus, a tender 5 years of age, clasping his mother's hand with a gentle grip. On the reverse side, she inscribed, "Family is the treasure for which you strive." I perceive that clearly now. Thank you for standing by her side. I never anticipated a miracle. I remain uncertain. Evelyn embodies her true self. With a heart full of pride and a touch of stubbornness, I was nurtured in a world where the essence of family was etched in stone, leaving little space for change. Yet, she found herself standing before a boundary that held the weight of consequence, a delicate line she dared not cross. And Marcus, my serene and thoughtful husband, delineated that boundary with exquisite precision. He spoke softly. He did not issue any threats. He did not bring her any shame. He gently revealed the truth, allowing her the freedom to decide who she wished to become. She selected Alara. And that decision transformed the very essence of our lives. For when another soul perceives your child through the same lens of love and admiration that you do, not merely as a presence to endure, but as a precious gem to cherish, the burden you were unaware of begins to dissolve, leaving you light and free. That Christmas unfolded without the grandeur of fireworks, the melody of music, or the poignant scenes of a tearful film. It concluded with a paintbrush delicately held in my daughter's hand, while a grandmother embarked on the enchanting journey of becoming one herself. That was quite sufficient. The journey home was marked by a gentle silence between us. Not due to the presence of tension, but rather the embrace of tranquility. The kind that emerges only after a significant moment has unfolded, leaving you gracefully poised in its aftermath. Somewhat unique. A touch more intensity. Alara drifted into slumber in the back seat, her sketchbook resting gently upon her lap. At one moment, I turned my gaze towards her and beheld that familiar drawing once more. Our family, hand in hand, now graced by the presence of a delicate new figure. A woman with silver hair, positioned gracefully at the edge of the scene, subtly enhancing the composition without claiming the spotlight. I chose not to inquire about her companion. It was unnecessary for me to do so. Upon our return home, life gracefully resumed its rhythm. The school year has commenced once more. Marcus returned to his duties once more. Alara devoted her afternoons to the kitchen table, where she gracefully filled page after page with enchanting animals, graceful trees, and little girls who bore a striking resemblance to her. One day, she crafted a delicate illustration of a fox, gracefully perched at a kitchen table, cradling a teacup. When I inquired about it, she smiled gently and replied, "That's Grandma. She is blossoming in her journey of discovery." Perhaps that is what lingered in my thoughts the longest. Evelyn did not transform in the blink of an eye. It's not as if everything transformed into perfection overnight. Yet, Alara graciously offered her the freedom to explore. Even in the face of rejection. Even after being rendered unseen. She gracefully opened the door once more. Just a touch. And allow love to make another attempt. Children possess a remarkable ability to forgive, often in ways that elude the comprehension of adults. That moment in Evelyn's living room lingers in my thoughts. The clarity in her voice. The hush that ensued. The burden of remaining silent when I ought to have spoken out. I often reflect on the countless moments when I convinced myself that preserving harmony held greater significance than facing the anguish within. Yet that day revealed a lesson unlike any other. True peace cannot exist without the embrace of truth. It is merely an act of pretense. And the act of pretending exacted a toll on my daughter, one she should never have had to bear. Even if just for a fleeting moment. Her feeling of being at home. Her conviction that she held significance in the hearts of those she cherished as family. That is a venture I shall never dare to undertake again. Since that moment, everything has transformed. Gently. And not always with elegance. Evelyn reaches out with greater frequency. She inquires about the enchanting artistry of Alara. Delivers charming little cards through the mail. Written by hand, perhaps a touch clumsy, yet undeniably sincere. The final words spoken were, "I take great pride in the way you perceive the world. You have truly expanded my world. And that shall suffice for the moment. Not due to the erasure of our past, but rather because we have embraced the truth of it at last." For now, when Evelyn arrives, she brings more than mere gifts. She brings a touch of grace. And that holds greater significance than anything adorned in gleaming wrapping. In truth, I once believed that family was defined by those who nurtured you, those who shared your lineage, or those to whom you pledged your heart in union. Yet, I have come to understand more profoundly. Family is those who stand by you in times of difficulty. Who gazes upon you with complete devotion and whispers, "You are mine." There are no conditions, nor exceptions to be found. At times, it requires a delicate line to be drawn in the most serene and lucid manner for individuals to truly perceive what has been before them all along. My husband spoke softly, his voice a gentle whisper. He nurtured his daughter with love and care. He gently reminded me that to act is to love. That silence can resonate with a volume equal to that of cruelty. And at times, expressing oneself does not require raising one's voice. It signifies remaining poised, cradling the truth delicately in your hands, unwavering and serene. And what of Alara? She gently reminded me that even in the aftermath of pain, one can still embrace the beauty of grace. Not for others, but for your own heart's desire. For the understanding that you truly belong should never be a matter of earning. It ought to be experienced deeply. And now, Alara senses it deeply. Not only from us, but at long last, from her beloved grandmother as well. When people inquire about our Christmas that year, I share that it was a time when something shattered, paving the way for something far more beautiful to emerge. It was the year my daughter discovered that the essence of love transcends the mere act of being chosen, unfolding in layers of affection and devotion. It is the essence of being selected once more at the most pivotal moments. We are grateful for your attentive ear to our tale. If this resonates with experiences you've endured or wounds you're still mending, remember, you are not alone in this journey. Families may weave intricate tales, yet your value remains steadfast and undeniable. Your presence at the table is a gift, not something to be earned. And if you are nurturing a child, whether biological, adopted, fostered, or otherwise, ensure that no one makes them feel like an outsider. Do share your thoughts. Kindly remain on the line. Let your love resonate with fervor. If this tale resonates with you, I kindly invite you to take a moment to express your appreciation by liking this video. It assists a greater number of individuals in discovering it. I would be delighted to hear your reflections or cherished tales in the comments below. I have immersed myself in each and every one. If you find yourself here for the first time, or if you desire more genuine, heartfelt tales like this, do consider subscribing to the channel and ringing the bell, ensuring you don't miss the next enchanting story. I am truly grateful for your presence. I appreciate your time with Alara. Thank you for embracing the beauty of kindness. Until we meet again, cherish yourself and those you hold dear as family.